Well, folks, we are back in action with live tennis. Finally, again. So Cincinnati Masters is going underway right now. We got Murray versus TFO playing in the background there. And we're going to do a quick draw breakdown and a preview of the tournament, look at the possible quarterfinal matchups, who's going to be Djokovic's biggest threat.
Fashion.
And we're going to look at the court speeds and all the stuff surrounding this totally weird COVID time Cincinnati Masters in New York. Yeah, figure that one out. It's going to be interesting. Let's get into it.
That's why I don't have many bagels.
Welcome to the slice.
Welcome to the slice.
Welcome to the slice.
Well, thanks for being here, folks. Appreciate our Slice community here. Thank you guys for subscribing. If you liked the video, make sure you click like. And thanks to Womo Sport, our clothing sponsor, making us look fresh, as always. So, first things I've noticed, it's from the Cincinnati Masters. It's obviously no fans, which is crazy. But the players seem to just be like, they're doing their things, maybe even able to focus a little bit more. You never know. Could be a good thing in some ways. I heard from also part of the Womo family, Pat Cash, through his Instagram, that the courts are super quick at the USTA Center. So that's going to be an interesting factor to take into consideration here at the Cincinnati Masters and at the US Open. So we'll see who that benefits more. But the draw is out. Obviously, the tournament's already started. Some of the biggest first-round matchups, there's a few juicy ones. We got Shapo versus Cilic, Denis Shapovalov from Canada, our guy. And then we got Dan Evans, friend of the show, versus Andrei Rublev, who was super hot before. They were both super hot before the pandemic hit. And we got Grigor Dimitrov versus Hugo Humbert. Now, if you've been watching for a while, Hugo Humbert is a guy that I've been talking about for a long time. He is so good. A young French guy, I think he's 21, 22. And we watched him in live in Delray, and he's just a monster. Love him, love his game, and I think he could do some serious damage. So Dimitrov is on upset alert there. And then we got Murray versus TFO, which is playing right now. Murray took the first set. TFO didn't play his smartest tennis at the end of the first set there. So we'll see what happens. By the time this video comes out, that match will be over. So we got some, as a Masters 1000, there's always sweet matches in the first round, which is part of why Masters 1000s are so awesome. But it really starts to get juicy in the quarterfinals as always. Now, with Nadal and Federer not here, it's not as juicy. But I feel like this is kind of a picture. This tournament is a picture, and the US Open is a picture into what the next 3-4 years of tennis could look like if Djokovic plays that long. Djokovic versus the next gen guys. So this is going to be his biggest, stiffest competition going forward, maybe after Nadal's done. So possible quarterfinals are, as provided by Tennis TV. Also, this streaming is from Tennis TV. $20 a month. It's a no-brainer if you're a big tennis fan, in my opinion. Free plug there. We got Djokovic, Goffin in the first top. That could be a great matchup because Goffin's, he was playing well. I think he made the final in Cincinnati last year. And so, yeah, he likes fast courts. He's a great counterpuncher. That could be an interesting match. I'd favor Djokovic for sure, just for obvious reasons. And then we got Medvedev versus Roberto Bautista Agut, RBA, which could also be another really interesting matchup because they're both just don't miss. They're both backboards, so it could be a lot of long rallies, which we haven't seen so far much of because, I think a lot of these guys are rusty. And so far, you can really tell who's put in the work. Notice off the bat, young Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime has definitely been putting in the work. He looked amazing. Took care of business today, and he looks strong and fit and all of the good stuff. So then we got Berrettini versus Tsitsipas. Could be amazing. They both played in the UTS in France, and they both looked really good there. I think Berrettini might have won. I forget. But, yeah, big hitting. They're both going to be great. They're both young. Two of the top young guys in the world. That could be a juicy matchup. I hope it happens. And then we got Zverev versus Thiem, which is kind of like the ultimate quarterfinal matchup here because Thiem's, arguably the best player in the world other than Djokovic right now. Or Nadal, depending on who you ask, depending who's playing and where they're playing. Zverev versus Thiem is obviously going to be amazing. So can't wait for that. So if those quarterfinals matchups happen, which they could, seems like the best player is there, the semifinals could be a problem for Djokovic because he's facing Medvedev. Now, a little clip here, a little throwback to last year when Medvedev took out Djokovic in some pretty fascinating fashion. After Djokovic won the first set, they usually get the top three guys, the big three, usually just run away with it. But Medvedev was able to overcome Djokovic's winning or front runner mentality and stay composed and win. And it was pretty crazy. So Medvedev is a serious threat to Djokovic, especially when it's only a best-of-3 set. So there's a lot of unknowns here. Like, we honestly just don't know how a lot of these guys are going to play. At Cincinnati, they've had a few months off like they've never had before. It's only been exhibitions. Djokovic had COVID at one point, even though he was never sick from it, and was playing 2 days later. So there's a lot of unknowns, and it's very interesting to watch these guys and girls be around the Grand Slams or the grandstands here, just like chilling out. They're all wearing masks, and if you follow them all on Instagram, it's cool to see. It's a good behind-the-scenes look there. So I'm looking for a Djokovic Medvedev semifinal matchup, and then I want Team versus Tsitsipas, I think, in the lower one. That's who I'm favoring. Who do you think looks the best so far of what you've seen? And who do you think is going to be in the semifinals or the finals? I'm thinking we could definitely see a Djokovic or Medvedev in the final versus I would favor Team for sure from the bottom. So that's just me. Not going to give a favorite yet. I'll do that midweek next week. But there's been a preview of the Cincinnati Masters in New York, which is still just totally weird to say. So thanks for being here. We'll check back in with you guys soon. Follow us on Instagram for daily updates and Twitter for what we think of the matches going on and all that good stuff. Like the video if you did, subscribe, and you'll never miss anything else. Thanks, folks. We'll see you soon.